Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the video series where we're talking about reliability. We're talking about impotency, erections, erectile dysfunction, whatever it is that got you to the point where you're not as reliable as you want to be. That's what we're addressing in this video series. I hope you got a chance to check out part 1. If you didn't, go ahead and check it out. But now in part 2, we're going to be talking about the sexual performance scale, which is a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, and to find out where you are on the scale so that you can get better. Hey, my name is Brian Ayers, aka Uncle B, and for the last 20 years, I've been a sexual performance coach with African Fly. In that role, I've talked to hundreds of guys and just living life myself. It just came down to me getting calls from guys. Like if I got a call from you and it was like I could ask you, how old are you? What's your weight? How much sleep do you get? What type of exercises do you do? I could ask you all these questions, but to get straight to it, to figure out what advice I can give you relatively quickly, came up with the sexual performance scale. It applies to so many situations. It's going to apply to your situation, but it helps because I've heard it, I've experienced it myself, that whole thing of being unreliable. And me, I got access to African Fly. I've been studying this stuff for years. And for me not to be reliable, I was like, what's going on? Well, it's like, your body changes, things change, and more information comes in. So I've absorbed all this information and I'm giving it to you right now. And the reason why I'm doing that is because really I need for you to be happy, your family to be happy, so that the world could be happy and nobody's, I'm not getting hit by a drunk driver because you got pissed off at somebody else, blah, blah, blah. Long story. Basically, I need for you to be happy. And also, I'm turning this into a book. So please comment below and, ask questions, give me some more information so we can get this out to as many guys as possible. Hey, let's just go ahead and make the world a better place. So what's so important about the sexual performance scale is the fact that you are always changing. Your body is changing. You're changing from year to year, day to day, hour to hour, second to second, really. But, how are those changes affecting you and what things can you look out for once you know where you are on the sexual performance scale? And this is part 2 of a 10-part series. So please look out for the other videos. Make sure you get all of them because there may be some nugget of information that'll change everything for you. And as always, if you like what you hear, go ahead and click subscribe, hit the notification bell, like it, and of course, comment. So let's hop into the sexual performance scale. And like I said before, it's a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest. Now, when we say you're a 10, that means that, picture your college athlete. Everything is in working order. The health is right. The diet is right. You got the energy going on. Your erections are at a 45-degree angle because, your core is tight. Everything is working properly. You're getting morning erections, spontaneous erections, erections on demand. All of that's working perfectly for you. So that's a 10. A 1, somebody who's impotent. And we're talking about impotent on a scale of we're not sure if you can get back up health-wise, because it's not just, you're not having erections. You're having a huge number of health issues. And of course, 5 is unreliable. That's the beginning stage of us. That's one of the last stages of being reliable before going to impotency if you don't do some things to correct the situation. So most of the guys that I work with are between 5, 6, and 7. That's because, if you're 8, 9, or 10, it's like, whoa, everything's working. If you're taking, calling me to get more information or taking African Fly, it's just so you can show off. It has nothing to do with your health. You're good to go. If you're a 5, 6, or 7, that means it takes a lot of stimulation for you to get an erection. You could, if you're at a 5, you're losing erection even during sex. Takes a lot for you to get up. If you're a 6 or a 7, it's unreliable on the scale of yesterday everything was fine. Today it's not. What just happened? Hey, like I said, those awkward conversations you have with your woman, I'm not sure what happened, and it's never good. So like I said, that 5, 6, or 7, you really want to pay attention because you start getting on the downward cycle. If you hit a 4, you're on that downward cycle. It just takes work to get back up. Literally to get back up, but you need to have the right information, and knowing where you are on the sexual performance scale is the most important thing. So really, where do you think you are? Comment below as to where you think you are. So now that you know where you are on the sexual performance scale, now we can start breaking down what's going on, what are the things that you need to be looking for. Because like I mentioned before, your erection is a culmination of how you are right now. Think of your erection if you just been drinking for the past 3 days straight. Yeah, it's not there. What if you drank 3 hours ago? What about 3 days ago? What about 3 months ago? So you're now a printout of all these different things. We're talking about your sleep, your exercise, your stress level. All of those things come into play during an erection. So as a male, like I said before, be happy you have a measuring stick there so you can figure things out pretty quickly. Other than just being turned on, you should be able to have an erection without an issue. Most normal guys can have 5 erections while they're asleep. That's just your body power cycling. I don't know what you want to call it, but there's no stimulation. It's just, that's what's supposed to happen. That's actually how you can tell whether or not you're impotent if you don't have them while you're asleep. But that's a different story. And the reason why all of this is important, because now we can start looking at, what is going on. Basically, when you're talking about erections, you're talking about testosterone and blood flow. Those are the main parts of making sure you have a strong erection, so we can start looking at where you are and what patterns are going on. And really, that's what comes up to our next video in the series. We're going to be talking about those patterns. So we know where you are. Now let's take a look at some of the patterns that we have in general that most people do and don't even think about. So we're going to break those patterns down so we can identify exactly where there's a break in your health conditioning and your health performance, so that you can move yourself up the sexual performance scale. Hey, once again, this is Uncle B. I want to thank you for tuning in. Please comment, share, like, subscribe. We want to make sure we get all this information to you. And once again, the question is, where are you on the sexual performance scale? Please don't feel afraid to just share, because we need, feedback. I want to emphasize, I've talked to guys who are 23 who are in tears because they are losing their erections while having sex. Obviously, that's not a good thing, no matter what age you are. If you're 8 or 9 and you're 65, please let us know. What are you doing? So we can all learn. Once again, this is Uncle B saying peace out. We'll see you next time when we're talking about patterns.